102 muscle memory that creeps into play. Wouldn't expect it, but you never know. It looks like they are off for the grand finals. Donkey Kong Country 2 any percent tournament underway.
This is it, the final match, unless V0oid wins and resets it. But
yeah, I'll admit I'm openly rooting for that. I would love to see V0oid send this to sudden death.
Same, you always want to see more matches.
We, of course, had the suggestion of what about a 102 sudden death finale? These guys, of course, the most prolific 102 players in the world. More Donkey, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Assuming the players can go back and forth between 8% and 102 muscle memory that fast. I mean, I know I certainly wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm still...
going in the haunted hall, I'm just like, oh my god, what do I do?
Yeah.
The mental stress is too much.
I've switched over to 102, and I still find myself doing any percent things, and it's been like 2 months since I've done this category. But anyway, we're moving through World 1. We don't want to bore you guys with all the details of this. You've all mostly seen this before, but in case anybody new is stopping in, we do, of course, have developer-intended warps throughout all of Worlds 1 and 2, with a couple wrong warps sprinkled in here and there just to make things a little bit faster.
How do wrong warps work? They're magic, all right? I'm tired of explaining it. They're magic. You clash the beetles against another beetle, or a clobber against another clobber. Sometimes a beetle against the wall, and magic happens. You throw the magic into the warp or bonus barrel, and then you beat the level. There you go. That's how it works.
Wrong warp. Done.
Done.
We're not sick of hearing you explain that, Claude. We could all listen to you explain that any number of times. Let's see what happens to V0oid here in top sail. Of course, going for one of those wrong warps. Ooh, with the backup? Okay, all right. So they're pretty much even going into Crow.
Wow, very nice World 1 times going into Crow, actually. It's pretty much
very
optimal.
Nice.
But of course, the great decider is upon us. Who does he favor today?
Crow, of course, helped V0oid out a little bit in the last match. Ooh, fakeless round 1 for both. Ooh, 1 fake for V0oid. 2, what is that? 3, 4.
No, Crow, why are you doing this?
This is not good.
Crow, what is he doing?
Good. Wow.
Oh yeah, he can spawn fake 3 legs apparently.
Again. That's unfortunate. Nothing fis can obviously do about that, but I don't expect that to decide the race, but I mean, that time differential definitely would have decided the last race, so unfortunate way to begin. But we're on to World 2, where there's even less to talk about than World 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting V0oid to just consistently get a little bit further ahead just due to movement, but I'm also expecting him to be more likely to die, so that's probably the main way for fis to catch up. I'd probably guess anyway.
Agree. I mean, as we just saw, fis did just beat V0oid an hour or 2 ago, so it's not like these guys aren't at the same level. They very much are, but V0oid's time is over 30 seconds faster than fis's, and at this level of play, that 30 seconds is all movement. It's all V0oid just is a little bit better at rolling those monkeys, a little bit better at pressing Y. So Waffle probably was much more V0oid's equal on movement than fis's, so fis is going to be looking for some mistakes from V0oid, I think, to pull this one out.
Yeah, I believe in the winners finals match, V0oid died in Crockhead, right?
Yes, I believe so. And I think that I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I don't know that it really changed that much after that.
Yeah, it's definitely where you'd expect the first death to happen. Is epic as the Glimmers movement would be. I don't expect that to decide the race at all.
No, and again, you're going to see good movement from Glimmers in both of these guys, really just in general. I mean, we've mentioned 102 a couple of times. These players are, of course, number 1 and number 2 in the world in that particular category. So fis knows how to move through every single level. And what that also means is that both of these players know pretty much every possible backup they're going to need. They've put in however many hundreds or thousands of hours into this. They've played every category you can possibly play. So if there's a part of this game, these guys know how to move through it. So we're not going to see, I think, any real catastrophic failures here.
It's like Cleaver's favoring V0oid a little bit as well in the cannonballs. V0oid being always lucky here, it seems. And no runner is going to miss Lava Fly, of course. Not this level of play.
One thing to look for with Lava Fly is just how far away Cleaver is when they get out and basically aggro his attack. And better players will have him be much, much farther off the screen when they finally get him to charge. So these guys doing it about as optimally as he really
Beast
can.
is getting absolutely terrible cannonball spawns. It's like absolute terrible RNG.
Yeah, Void with, I think, a 517. Feast, we'll see what he gets. He's over 10 seconds behind. Yeah, about 13 seconds behind, which really is about as big a differential as you can have coming out of World 1 and 2. It was basically Crow is the only difference between these two guys. A little bit of Cleaver, but mostly
Yeah,
Crow.
I mean, both players playing perfectly so far. It's something they can't change the RNG, of course. Well, time for 3-1, where they actually get to play the game.
Yeah, welcome to Donkey Kong Country 2.
It's like Feast taking the more traditional strat there, not going for the barrel skip that saves like 8 frames that Krypton Berry found recently. In general, I expect them to go for pretty standard strats. Like, there's been a lot of new tech found in the past, say, like 2 months or so. But incorporating it in a marathon setting is, not a marathon setting, but a race setting at this point in Grand Final is a little bit risky.
Yeah, one thing that Sylvine and I were talking about a little in the last race is just maybe this setting compared to AGDQ. Feast, of course, was not playing in that setting, but he did play at the JRTA marathon a little while ago, and Void, an experienced AGDQ runner, and wondering just are they more nervous for that or more nervous for this? Not really expecting Void to maybe ever get nervous, but I think they might want this a little bit more. That is probably much more just for show. This is bragging rights. I mean, this is all the marbles, all the bananas right here.
Yeah, Void probably wants to prove that he's still the best in this game, and Feast obviously wants to bring it home for Japan.
Reminder, of course, this is a double elimination tournament, so we're saying this is the grand finals, and if Feast wins, it is the grand finals, because that means Void will have lost twice. But if Void manages to win, we will have another match between these two players to decide who is the greatest monkey roller of them all.
Void's also had to play a lot more matches going into this. I guess just one more match, so not sure if maybe he's like a little bit more exhausted than Feast is right now. I know Void said he hadn't actually played this game until like Thursday, so I'm sure he's a little bit rusty in his first match. Maybe now he's a little bit warmed up.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, both players focusing on 102 lately, so that's pretty even on that front. Yeah, that is really an interesting point. Is fatigue going to be a thing that decides it for Void, or is he going to be more warmed up and more ready to go? I mean, speedruns, a lot of times you see several of them in a row. It's not like Void's not used to doing 3, 4, 5 runs in a single sitting.
Yeah, I feel like Void is the type of player that the more runs you do, he's going to get a little bit better. Typically, when I watch him PB, it's always on like one of the last runs of the day, like 4 hours in. So I'd say it's to his advantage.
Ooh,
oh, as I say that,
from Feast.
Void getting bopped a little. Oh, Feast dies as well. I was just watching Void screen. Trouble and Crockhead on both screens.
I think so. Feast is quite a bit behind now. He died before pretty close to the mid barrel actually, and Void almost done with the level. So that little hit there didn't end up costing Void anything. So this, yeah, Feast is definitely going to be needing some mistakes from Void to be able to catch up now. It's very early. Obviously, there's plenty of time for that to happen, but if you are rooting for Void, you have to be feeling good about yourself right now.
It's like Feast not going for all the gap rolls there, just going for a little bit of safer hops. Understandable.
Yeah, of course, I mean, after a death, sometimes it's really easy to try to just go as hard as you can to make up the time, but oftentimes that's what leads to those infinites that we have heard so much about over the last few months. And he's through. I expect him to just shake that off and move on to moving pretty normally through the rest of the levels.
Yeah, I don't expect Feast to get too tilted. Probably able to recover just to get right back on pace easily enough. Void getting a good RNG on the RNG kaboing, as I like to call him. Consistent
movement, as always, the goal here. Time timing those jumps and both in like height and length, I guess, as accurately as you can is the name of the game here. But Void getting through very, very cleanly. Fis moving very, very well so far also.
Yeah, Void on a pretty good run. Definitely still 40 pace for sure. Just entering Slime Climb at like a high 10. Just definitely really good pace. I have seen Void miss this wrong warp in a race setting a few times, but hopefully he pulls it together here. If not, we get to see the amazing 102 backup.
Yep, which again we would see from either player if they miss it. It's a weird wrong warp. It's not one you really ever think about needing to work on, but it can catch you off guard and cause you to miss it at really weird times. Races, of course, being about as bad a time possible to miss them. So a full stage now separating Void and Fis. Of course, it is a short stage, but a stage all the same.
I'm not sure if Void's been going for the quick shot skip that all the new kids are doing these days.
He did not in the last round, and he's not now.
Not going for it.
I need to learn that. I'm terrible at quick shots.
Yeah, it's a really good strat. Shouts to DGs for finding that.
Shout out to DGs for everything.
Void hasn't really updated any of his any percent strats with the newer tech found, obviously because he's been focusing on 102, so not too surprised to see it here.
Right, he did indeed go for just the normal Dixie Windy in the last race, whereas Waffle showed us the new tech there. I'd expect Fis to also go for Dixie Windy. Again, he hasn't been working on any percent lately, so this...
the
Void missing Vine Clip.
Misses
This
Vine Clip.
doesn't ever...
Oh no!
Maze of Shame! Wow, just like that.
If there's anything that's going to put Void on tilt, it's probably going to be this, because Void is very proud of his Vine Clip consistency.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen him miss it. Maybe once ever before this?
There was like...
Oh, and the death! Wow!
As I said, the tilt is real.
The tilt is real. Oh my... So, I mean, that's what it is right there. He is not used to doing Maze of Shame. He was not used to timing that part of the trick, like those barrel shots, so he shot right into the bramble.
Very
I've done that before. So, I mean, again, we're basically have just completely reversed the situation. It's the same time differential, just in the other direction now. And I think Fis is probably more likely, I don't know, to lose time to Void. I guess, as you were saying earlier, like Void's movement's going to be a little bit better. So Void can make up time by just playing really, really well from here on out. But he still is probably going to need a mistake or two from Fis in order to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. I just couldn't believe that series of events. But these things happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it was basically 3 things in a row. Missing Vine Clip, losing the backup, and then that death, of course, just kind of the salt in the wound. Yeah, that's that just goes to show you. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you played this game, it can still get you at any point.
Definitely some salt present, that's for sure. I can assure you that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Cudgel.
Yeah, Cudgel. Not too much to say here.
With the, like,
just
the way I'm watching right now, I don't even have audio, so like I have no idea like what cycle anyone's on or even what's happening at this point. I just want Cudgel to be over.
Yeah, same. It's really weird watching this without audio, so you viewers out there definitely have the best experience. Fis through no problem. See what the time differential is. So he is 1348.
Definitely gonna be a 14xx for Void here.
Yeah, he is not going to be pleased with that. 14:05, so 27 seconds behind, I believe. Yeah, I mean that's a death. One death could change that, but he probably is going to need one of those mistakes at this point.
We have seen Void make quite a few comebacks in this tournament, I believe. I remember in the match I commentated versus Kipples, he was behind for like quite a bit, but he came back at the end. Just right now versus Waffle, he did the exact same thing. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that was the one where he missed Slime Climb, and I think we thought it was pretty much over, but somehow he did manage to come back. So Void is kind of the comeback king of this game. Never count him out. I know I'm pulling for him. I'd like to see the 2 matches tonight.
Looking like very clean hornet holes right now by both players.
Yeah, Void has clearly shaken off his earlier hornet hole mishap.
Oh, Fizz doesn't get the goal swap there. That was a little bit odd. Looks like the setup was fine, but just didn't have Dixie in an airborne state for whatever reason. I guess Diddy in an airborne state.
Void, of course, gets it and makes up that second. And we're on to target tower. Target tower.
Target tower.
Where? Somebody make that ROM hack. Get us target tower out there. One thing I always say about this game is I love this game. It's almost perfect, but I really wish we could have some platforming levels with this particular tile set. Just the whole carnival set. It's not enough for me because it's great music, great background, great fun, but all we get is a couple of auto scrollers.
Yeah, like imagine the cart just like going up toxic tower and just having to dodge like bees and whatnot. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be great. Best roller coasters are those that go up. So Feast does not jump into the bonus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if he was looking at bonus barrel, like, do I jump in? Do I not? And it's like,
I mean, I had the reflex that, oh no, he's missing it because I've been working on 102 lately. So see if Void skips it as well. He does. Good job, guys. I mean, really, that could be the hardest thing about this for these players is auto scrollers. You're used to having a certain muscle memory, and jumping or not jumping into the bonuses as you switch categories. This is a really hard thing to do.
Fighting muscle memory is like impossible in these games. Like even high level players of any donkey game will tell you, like, it's just feel. Like, you know, visual cues matter, practice matter, and whatnot, but it just comes down to feel. And if your feel's off because you're playing a different category or whatnot, or a different Kong or whatever the case may be, like, you're just done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why Kong order matters so much, consistent movement matters so much, and that's why we maybe don't see as many safety strats in these things as you might expect, because they're used to going for the best stuff, and they're gonna just do what they know how to do. Sometimes trying to do something different is what throws you off the most. Now, of course, Brambler here is the great equalizer in this tournament. We'll see what Feast does.
Oh, I just want to mention that Feast did get the swag balloon, so I'm glad he's representing that.
Oh, he did. Excellent,
He did, yes.
Excellent. With the corner, gets the invis.
Definitely won't be seeing Void go for the corner. I've been very strict that if you go for the corner, I'm disappointed in you, personally.
Good, I'm glad that I don't even know how to do that. So I won't shame you in that tiny way. So this is really close to the same differential that Void had versus Waffle earlier. Maybe a little bit further behind, but it was basically the same sort of thing where I remember Waffle going for the corner and Void not going for the corner and making up that half second or whatever, and on we go. So still a very, very close race, anybody's game. The dream of the sudden death finals is still alive.
Yeah, it's really hard to notice, but Void is very slowly and gradually catching up. I'm probably going to see that in Mudhole as well. I expect Void to go for a little bit more optimal strats compared to Feast.
Mid-barrel skip?
I don't think he's that crazy, but hoping for at least a supersonic, maybe fast Mudhole warp, but probably not.
He definitely took the Mudhole warp a little bit more aggressively than Waffle did in the last round. Feast through no problem, as you'd expect.
And here is the biggest run kill of World 4, Mudhole Marsh.
Yep, the most complete stage in the game. Some of the most difficult platforming, difficult jumps, difficult rolls, and one of the most precise wrong warps in the entire game to cap it all off. So pretty much everything that is Donkey Kong Country speedrunning is, or Donkey Kong Country 2 speedrunning is in this level. So let's see if Claude is right and Void makes up a little bit of time.
He's grabbing that halfway, as you'd expect. I expect Void to do the same as well.
Yeah, of all the safety strats they may or may not do, mid-barrels are the ones that I would expect out of them. Indeed.
No supersonic for Feast, but he does get the moonwalk, I believe. It skips a cycle on the barrel guy. Void also picking up the barrel, or the box, rather.
And the moonwalk. Easy wrong warp for Feast.
Oh, Void gets the instant invis. That does save a little bit of time, actually. I believe it's like 0.3 or so.
Always. All right, Feast taking a more traditional big boy here, and Void probably going for Via Boy. Did in the last round, expect it this time.
Expecting Via Boy into B-Skip is his classic.
There we go.
Gets part 1. Not going to get B-Skip. Oh, wow, it does get B-Skip. He was stalled in the honey forever. I guess the B wasn't actually spawned yet. But very nice.
All right, making up time indeed.
You can see, yeah, you can definitely see the time
Then he
difference
lands on the step.
closing. He's bonking in that B a little bit, but definitely not going to see any major catastrophes here at the end of Rammy Rumble.
Yep, Feast is through, no problem. With the double jump, as you'd expect both these players to get every time.
Coming up on one of the last opportunities to see 2-cycle in this entire tournament. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think Feast is even aware of the setup.
Yeah, I, as I was saying in the last one, I don't know that I've ever even seen it at all. I've only ever heard of it.
I have seen it a few times. I've even gotten it once, actually, but that was
Nice.
only one. In a
On
disaster.
purpose?
No, it was a complete disaster. Just somehow got it randomly.
Gotta find the silver lining somehow. Of course, as we say all the time, don't sleep on the king. Void did have a little bit of a sloppy fight in the last round, so expect him to have tidied that up this time. Feast through with a very nice fight. Let's see what the differential is here. 50. 2150. Oh yeah, Void has made up quite a bit of time, actually. 22. Yeah, he made up 18 seconds in World 4.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, and Feast didn't really even make too many mistakes that I remember, did he?
I don't think he did. Yeah, I was trying to remember. I don't know that Feast has really made any mistakes other than the crackhead death. So, I mean, it's just, that goes to show you, that's Void's movement. He plays unlike anyone else I've ever seen with this game.
As we say that, he's had a little bit of mistake, I believe, in, right at the beginning of Ghostly. But
Hopefully that's
major.
the only way we curse them.
Yeah, exactly.
Skip
Just
in the
stop
mid-barrel.
commentating, then we're going to see 240s side by side.
Where's the fun in that? Fist choosing to despawn the cloak at the end.
The despawn's actually a very old Japanese strat. I believe Riz was one of the first people to do it. Whereas more American players tended to go for the back of the rope strat, which is a little bit faster and pretty much just as safe.
Yeah, I know Void went for the despawn for the longest time, but now obviously he chose the back of the rope strat.
It's a shame we don't have audio again for this level so we can see how good their haunted halls are. He's obviously playing on J, at least I would assume he is, 'cause it's Japanese. So he's going to have a little bit of advantage, which is apparently actually not insignificant in this stage. I thought it was just a few frames difference, but it'd actually be like 0.2 or 0.3 difference between Japanese and North American on this stage.
Because of that one B hop?
Just with that one B hop, yeah. DG showed me the lights.
Yeah, don't jump on the flats. Which, of course, I mean, I say that because you lose frames if you jump on the flats, and you save time when you jump up and down slopes.
There's actually a little bit more to it than that. You apparently don't even want to jump down every downslope. Some of them you just want to ride down.
Right,
Like
isn't
right
it
there, where Feast jump down, it's actually a little bit faster to just ride that slope down.
Yeah.
I didn't find this out until very recently.
Yeah, it's pretty new. The wiki used to say to jump down all of them, but again, that has changed. It's just amazing that this game this old that has this long a speedrunning history is still having new stuff found in it.
Donkey science has progressed to the point where we actually have to sit down and analyze auto scrollers. It's a great time to be alive.
That's paid off for DG's moving into second place a couple times here.
It really has, yeah.
course,
According to DG, Feast is losing a second here over Void. Again, I can't hear the audio, but I definitely trust him.
Yeah, and neither player went into bonuses, so I think we're mostly safe from any 102 muscle memory taking
Yeah,
over
hopefully
now.
it's cleared out completely at this point. I'm sure the warm-up races helped as well. Not really
Yeah,
warm-up
definitely.
races, but the earlier matches.
Warm-up races just at
But
the
not grand finals, the
finale of
warm-up
the
race.
tournament.
You know how it
Yeah.
is? Exactly. Not worth my time.
As we saw earlier with Waffle, these pillars can be a little bit treacherous, but both players making it through no problem here. V0oid still choosing not to get the mid barrel, so he is making up the time wherever he can.
I don't expect V0oid to grab any midways. He's too much of a man for that, I'd say. Well, except for, I guess, for Mudhole, but...
Well, that's a life or death situation there. All right, Parachute Panic. These next two stages, of course, traditionally where a lot of runs can die. PCP looks a lot harder than it is, but still has a chance to kill you at any given moment, so pay attention.
I'd argue this is the hardest level to go from between 102 and 80% just because of the way the camera scrolls. Like, I know I have a lot of difficulties going between the categories just for this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that.
Oh no, Feast grabs midpoint parrot. I think the run's now invalid. I think V0oid wins by default.
I think so. We'll just stop it now and get on to the real grand finals.
Exactly, yeah.
Feast through the hardest section. Headbutt. V0oid right behind.
No problemos by either player.
All right, Webb Woods. Again, a few differences here between 102 and any percent. The Eagle Pit being the most noteworthy one, and that, of course, is probably the hardest part of the level, too. So if we're going to see any trouble, I would expect it to be there. But, of course, I mean, sometimes those platforms just don't want to appear when you want them to, so anything can really happen here. Chat making the good point that Feast got Swag Balloon, so it canceled out Midpoint Parrot.
Ah, yes, that's true, yeah. I feel like at the end of the run, we should just not even go by the final time, just go by, like, how much swag the runner had or how many cool things they did. Just go by that.
I do believe... Did Feast get Flying Diddy as well? I thought I saw chat talking about that. I missed seeing it.
I want to say he did.
But if he did,
yes.
that's a 3-0 lead at the moment. Or 2-0, of course. Midpoint Parrot. Why are we talking about this? This is Webb Woods. This is the hardest level in the game.
Hope they don't fall in pits.
Feast makes it across the Eagle Pit. V0oid right behind going into it.
Just very clean Webb Woods by Feast. Oh, V0oid stumbling a little bit. But...
Okay, V0oid's through as well. So good recognition there that he wasn't going to make it. That's sometimes just as important as being able to execute the stuff is knowing exactly when you're not going to make it.
And so now Feast has been never lucky in his entire run so far with Crow and the Cleaver spawns. I wonder if he'll just cap it off by getting left spawn. I'm expecting it personally.
Little missed jump there. Almost hit with that egg.
Our moment of truth coming up. Ah, okay, he does get mid spawns.
Mid's good.
Crow doesn't hate him completely, just a little bit.
Not quite as much drama on the hooks here as we had last time. V0oid also.
Oh, as you say that, he falls off a little, or Feast falls off a little bit.
Did he?
Just stop commentating, man.
Not as bad as last time.
Even
I know. What am I doing?
Oh my goodness.
These ropes.
Somewhere out there, Riz is just shaking his head at these ropes.
29-12. So made up 3 seconds. This gap is narrowing.
Expected to continue to narrow going into World 6, as obviously V0oid has very good Toxic, probably a pretty good Arctic as well. It's another stage where your movement matters a lot. I'm just getting hit, but just the way you move your fish, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. As with Glimmers, every single corner is really important in this stage.
Some of these enemy kills from. Oh, just as I said that, I was gonna say they looked very questionable. He gets hit. It's looking like
the
DKC
fish,
being
man.
on guard for a bit there.
It's the fish. It's what he does. Feast through, and indeed no Diddy Windy from either player.
Yeah, it's a shame. I know V0oid messed around with Diddy Windy a little bit, but it just doesn't feel like it's ready for the grand finals of the tournament, I suppose. I guess that's understandable.
Yeah, if he didn't pull it out last round, he's not doing it this one.
But Diddy Windy is it's a pretty real strat. I believe it saves about 1.5 seconds over Dixie Windy, even factoring in the swap in Arctic. So
yeah, also it looks awesome, which is the best kind of
does.
strat you can get.
It's got air dashes, it's got damage boosts, it's got a big boy, it's got
Off-screen movement. Yeah. So of course, Windy Well, basically an auto scroller, but the skips in this stage, messing any of them up would be very costly for Feast. It would be enough for V0oid probably to take the lead.
And if Feast does miss Ghetto Beast here, it'll pretty much equalize the race, but not expecting either player to really miss that. I want to say that now before they're actually doing it, so that way maybe I won't curse them.
Yeah. Feast is through.
And no problems for V0oid.
V0oid right behind. So this actually is, I think, a closer gap than we had in the last race between V0oid and Feast, or V0oid and Waffle, which is amazing when you consider how close that particular race was.
Yeah, V0oid is catching up in every single level, just piece by piece. Like, it'd be really interesting to see like their IL comparisons as they're going along, just to see the actual time differential made up per level.
Absolutely. Remember, V0oid was 27 seconds behind after World 3.
Notice that Feast killed that rat there, whereas V0oid let the rat die by the actual stage. It's a little bit faster to have the enemies die by the stage. Saves 2 frames per instance.
Sounds like another auto-scroller with a bunch of rats.
Yeah. I can think of one like... but V0oid kills that rat, so now it's just... why would you save 2 frames there and not 2 frames there?
Who needs frames?
Exactly, yeah. It's not like this race is close or anything.
No. All right, I think I'm being corrected. V0oid was 17 seconds behind.
No math?
No math, not here.
Not here. Never in a donkey setting.
I knew that math degree I got was useless.
V0oid did miss Castle Crush in the AGDQ race, but I'm definitely not expecting to see it here. I'm sure that was just a one-time situation.
Yeah, it sounded like his controller dropped the input in that situation, so I don't think that was his fault. And again, I mean, this is, guys, pay attention. I mean, this is really where it all comes down to. Even clappers here is a level where movement makes a huge difference on time. So V0oid could make up this time just by good movement in this stage. But really, the next 3 levels after this are what's going to decide the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just how well you throw your girlfriend, whether or not you get the good roll at the end of the stage. Like, everything matters at this point. Even the fish movement here, it all matters.
Girlfriend thrown. Second girlfriend thrown. No trouble so far.
Yeah, it's been very clean run by both runners so far. It just very like one costly death for Feast and some bad RNG, and obviously the Bramble Blast mishap for V0oid. On that, it's just been really good.
Yeah. Ooh, Waffle Waffle Feast.
Waffle.
Tiny mistake there. Thinking, of course, how Waffle had that
Yeah.
unfortunate death in this stage. We did not see either player do that. This wrong warp, guys. This could decide it.
I'm definitely not expecting either one to miss it, but you never know. Oh no!
Feast misses it. Ooh, he's waiting for the clobber to come back.
I've never seen this backup work. Oh
wow,
well.
that
Okay.
backup! Holy cow! CLC does it again, guys. 2 races in a row.
Typically, when you even mess
With
it up
both
slightly,
players
like it's
in the snake
absolutely
barrel.
done. The fact he's able to save that, it's like I've never even seen anyone even do that.
I can't believe he pulled that off. I thought it was over, but it's okay. Tiny mistakes on the jumps, but oh man, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here.
Oh, it's
How
gonna
does
be
this
another
happen
nail
2
biter.
runs in a row?
Yeah.
V0oid having a much cleaner toxic this time than he did last race, though. I mean, V0oid executing everything almost perfectly. Feast doesn't quite get the full jump there.
Definitely
Both
less
players
than 10
into the squawk
seconds
section.
apart now. Lead has changed. V0oid obviously in the lead. I really hope it comes down to just how fast you can mash squawks here.
Both here and in the next one.
Oh
no! V0oid, no! Not
he didn't grab
there.
halfway, did he? I don't think he did.
Not like this, guys. Not like this.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Under the B. Wow.
And that just might do it. I think Japan's gonna take the tournament.
It's looking like they will. Oh, wow.
2 things that V0oid's so proud of: his vine clips and his toxics. Both his downfall actually here in the grand finals of the tournament.
Both betray him in this run. I mean, like we said, not over yet, but it's hard to lose this amount of time in Screech's
Well,
sprint.
if it were Waffle here instead of Feast, I might say there's a chance, but I'm not expecting Feast to have a quite big a catastrophe. Yeah, Feast through the most dangerous section of sprints so far. See if he grabs halfway.
I would expect it. V0oid's not going to at this point, though. He's going to do every second he possibly can.
No halfway for Feast. So this is do or die.
All right. Does Feast do what's it called? The
fast goal?
Fanfare skip?
Oh, fanfare skip.
Yeah,
looks
fast
like
goal.
No.
Whatever it's called.
Too new for him, I guess.
Yeah. Not useful in 102.
Through the B rings, nothing stopping him from first place at this point. Just a very clean sprint, yeah.
Very clean sprint. Very, very nice run from Feast across the board. Just the one mistake in Crackhead. Everything else, other than that tiny bit of RNG going poorly, was really, really good.
I wouldn't say it was a tiny bit of RNG. That was a lot of fakes.
It was pretty bad, yeah. Looking like a strong 41 from him.
So it looks like Fist is going to go undefeated throughout this entire tournament. Very impressive.
Yep. We're back to a slightly less exciting K-Rool fight than the one we had before. Of course, if Feast drops a cycle, he will... Even that might not be enough.
Nah, I think he's got in the bag. Man, is it 2013 again? 2012? Japan's on top of the game again.
Japan is on top. I think V0oid officially loses his world record from this.
Oh yeah, we're just going to strip it from him. Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it back to Japan. Actually, let's give it back to Riz. He earned it. He's the one that taught all the...
Respect your elders.
Exactly. Every Japanese runner who plays any donkey game typically goes off of Riz's tapes, even though they're like 4 or 5 years old at this point, just because of the best starting point. A little bit of dust on these throws by Feast, but obviously doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, I don't expect he knows where he's at, but he's probably not going to be doing anything super risky here either way. Well, he's running under the cannonballs for fun, so might as well.
You never know. This is just his normal strat. Typically, I've seen players just do like some crazy stuff during K-roll just to like pay attention. Otherwise, maybe they'll like fall asleep, forget what they're doing, etc. Cutchel syndrome.
Yeah. The Japan celebration is starting in the chat.
Japan's is rising up in Donkey, man. Obviously, it rose up quite a bit in DKC3. Now here in the DKC2 tournament. It's a shame they'll never be able to rise up in DKC1 just because the Japanese version of that game is so much slower, and none of them want to play on the North American version. But 2 and 3, man.
Yeah, Fis, Kigo, Suzuri, obviously, Sweet Mind.
By the way, Riz is back. Like he's
that's right.
He's retired for 2 years.
Is he playing again?
He's playing again. Yes, he's been doing Old Summon. Japan's decided 2017 is the year that they return to Donkey, I guess. Looks like Void is doing Blue Diddy for the fans. I guess he's probably watching Fis' stream. He knows he can't possibly win.
He knows he lost, so he's making up a little bit for the missed swag balloons over the course of the tournament. 6 or 7 second loss there, of course. Chat has degraded into Super Bowl debating.
I don't like real scores.
Japan's glory short-lived.
And Fis is going to do it. He is your Donkey Kong Country 2 any% tournament world champion with a 41-29, taking it over Void. No bracket reset needed. He is the best.
Fis staying undefeated throughout the entire tournament.
A 102 main too, taking an 8% tournament. That's
yeah.
Don't know how to feel about that. I guess you're probably pretty happy about that, but
I'm surprised that he was able to beat Void twice in a row. I really did expect Void to come and take this first game, but yeah, it's what Fis has done here is really, really impressive. He started with 102, and I remember him telling me a year or so ago, I popped into his channel randomly and he said, I'm going to go beat Void. And I thought, yeah, right. You're not going to beat Void. He had like a 135 or 136 at the time. And Void obviously had the only sub 130 of anyone, but sure enough, he did. He kept playing. He beat, now he's beating everybody. You know, he's beaten Void at any %. He's beaten Void at 102 and Fis reigns supreme.
It's absolutely incredible to see. Very proud of Fis and everyone in this tournament, really. Just put on an incredible show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone else, just really, really solid play by everybody. Enjoyed this entire tournament.
Yeah, it was absolutely a lot of fun. Great community turnout. Great to see everybody just get so excited about it. The chat has been awesome. Fiesel has been awesome. Everybody chipping in for commentary. I've gotten to hear. There he is.
There he is. Yeah, webcam.
Showing off the monkey suit. Winner. Look at this. Look at this guy. Winner and champion of the world.
Out of the master. Japan's back, man.
Japan is back.
Rightful kings.
For those who haven't seen the JRTA highlight of Fis's race, definitely go watch that. You'll see a lot more of this monkey suit than you ever thought you would.
Yeah, shame there will be no bracket reset, but I mean, what can you do? It was so close to going into Toxic and then just the unfortunate death, and that was it. That's all she wrote for Void.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to what happened to Waffle in the race right before this, where you think you've got it and you're doing things that you execute every single time, but that one unfortunate death puts the other guy in front.
The Gauntlet, man. That's why it's called the Gauntlet. CLC, Toxic Tower, and Sprint, the 3 levels that comprise the Gauntlet, and all 3 of those levels wreaked havoc today.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that Fis did miss CLC. I mean, I thought he had lost the race with that. But then he does that backup, that waiting for the clobber to respawn, open up, and time the invis correctly still, even with that. Amazing. I mean, amazing
I've never been able to successfully do a backup for CLC like ever in my entire life. I didn't even know it was possible. I know you said like Nocturne did it once, which I would fully expect to be able to do a backup for CLC, but
Yeah,
Fis will be able
Nocturne's
to
was
recover
very
that.
different though. Nocturne had like a setup where he moved into the team throw, and you could tell there was still some movement and visual cues involved. Like Feast just stood there and waited for the right time. It was amazing.
Especially because obviously that's an 80% exclusive strat. I wouldn't expect a 102 main to actually know the backup for that wrong warp, but there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. But he showed us all how it's done. But it looks like we have V0oid in here
Ooh.
representing Canada. V0oid, how are you feeling right now?
Hey, I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
How are you guys?
doing good, man. Thank you for the last 2 races, dude. That was some of the best Donkey Kong Country 2 I've seen ever. These 2
Well,
races.
no problem. I'm happy that we gave a good show, and we had like a fucking huge crowd too. Over 5,000 people. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for coming to watch this event. I'm glad that I hope it lived up to the hype, but I think it did. Hard to ask for 2 better races than those. I mean, 4 races tonight really that were all very good.
It's a shame that the tournament had to happen so much later after, all the grand final tournament had to happen so much later after all the other matches. But I'm just glad we finally got it done, albeit a little bit late.
Yeah, same.
Speaking of getting it done, we have the world champion himself, Fis. Welcome. Tell these people about that monkey suit.
Hello guys. I am King of Donkey Kong.
King of Donkey Kong.
That's right. King of Donkey Kong, confirmed.
Former King of Donkey Kong would like to congratulate you on your win, Feast. It was very impressive, very well done, undefeated.
Thank you.
We were just talking about how impressive your backup was in CLC, missing the wrong warp, but then still being able to wait and get it again on the second try. What were you thinking then?
Wrong warp. Very scary day.
How much have you even practiced the backup for the wrong warp? Like, is that something that's happened to you in runs before? Or are you just like, man, I hope this works, and then it worked?
Sorry. I can't understand. My English is still very.
Don't worry about it. We'll just say you planned it, you practiced it 10,000 hours, you know for sure it'd work, no problem.
Well, thank you again, Feast. Very, very impressive. Very good tournament showing. What's next for you? Are you going to go take the 102 world record back from V0oid now?
Oh yeah, I'll beat V0oid 100% again. I'll get 127 minutes.
Will you get 127?
You're gonna need the 127 if you want to beat me, because I'm not stopping until I get it.
Yeah, 127 is very easy game.
Wow!
Whoa!
127
I
is
almost
easy.
want to see that. I want to see that 102 bonus race from these guys right now. This kind of
Yeah,
talk.
it's decided right now.
That's what we should have done instead of any percent right now.
Yeah, I know both of you guys are working on 102. The fact that you're able to come back to any percent and not have any bad muscle memory is something we were talking about throughout the match. Good job not going any bonuses.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you again to our grand finalists, V0oid and Feast. Feast, of course, taking back the title for Japan. I don't know that we have too much else to say. I don't know, Feasel, do you have any final closing thoughts for the tournament in general? All right, well, thank you to Feasel. Thank you, Claude. Thank you, Sylvite, Christmas, Otterlinks, Feast, V0oid, Krypton, Waffle. Who am I forgetting? I think I got everybody from tonight, but
Thank the viewers for watching.
the viewers, of
Not
course,
you guys.
all 5 million of you or whatever
5
it is
million.
out
I
there.
don't know how many of those are robots,
Yes,
but hopefully
approximately.
most of you are real people.
Approximately. But thank you guys very much. Very fun tournament. Of course, stay tuned. We are going to have the Donkey Festival towards the end of this month, which will be a full weekend of pretty much every possible category of Donkey Kong Country. A lot of the people you've been watching and listening to are going to be participating in that. So keep an eye on Twitter for that event. Thanks to Christmas and Kipples and whoever else putting that thing together. And I guess with that, we're off.
Yeah, done.
Take care, guys.
GG Feast. Rolling out.
Thank you, GG V0oid and all runners.